Terence and Lowdown here, and I'm back with another video. Now, don't forget, as always, to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like, guys, and I'll happily get back to you. Now, let's talk about Terence Crawford, who's looking for another opponent. He was last out in November against Kell Brook. He demolished Brook, really, man. You know, stopped him in 4 rounds. The first real hard shot he landed on Brook, you know, it sent him going. And Crawford, he's, you know, we all want to see him take on Errol Spence. That's the fight that we want to see. But, you know, I have to be honest, man, I just don't see it happening right now. It appears that these two are just going in different directions, which is one of the problems in boxing, man. It's a real shame to see. It's a fantastic fight that we've been all hyping up and talking about for the last 3 years. Let's be honest, it's been like at least since 2018 that they were talking about these two getting in the ring. Both of them, I think, are to blame now. Not just, at first I thought Errol Spence was mainly to blame, but I think both of these guys are to blame, man. I just think that their egos have got above them, and whatever the reason, we're just not going to see these two guys get in the ring anytime soon. I do think Crawford wants it more than Errol Spence, but as far as I'm aware, I think Errol Spence is the one that made an offer, a reasonable offer, and you know, we're not anywhere with it. So, you know, you have to blame both of these guys, man, if I'm being honest. But let's talk about what might be next for Crawford, because Bob Arum was saying that he's looking to explore the options available to him, and 2 of those options are Manny Pacquiao and Shawn Porter. Now, Shawn Porter has been very vocal in facing Terence Crawford. I mean, he is one of the few guys out there that is literally throwing his name in the hat to fight Terence Crawford next. I mean, he's called for it. I've seen that his dad, Kenny Porter, has called for it. And let's be honest, man, Shawn Porter is willing to fight anybody. I mean, look who he's been in there with. He's been in there with Errol Spence. He's been in there with Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. You know, he's willing to fight anyone, Shawn Porter, man. We got to give him credit for that. So I do believe him when he says that he wants to fight Terence Crawford. I think that they will be pretty easy to negotiate with as well. So let's see it, man. I think if we're not going to see Terence Crawford against Errol Spence, then why not Shawn Porter? I mean, I still think he's a good fighter. He has the potential to cause Terence Crawford problems with his style. So let's see. Manny Pacquiao is also being mentioned as another name, but how realistic will that be? Will it happen? I don't know. I think Pacquiao said that he wanted in excess of like 30-40 million to take on Terence Crawford, man, which is just, it's not going to happen, is it? So yeah, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but Bob Arum was looking at exploring those options for him. I think the Porter one would be easy to make, despite him being over there at the PBC and Terence Crawford fighting with Top Rank. I think that Team Porter are willing to make it happen. I think that the Pacquiao fight will be a lot harder to negotiate. Obviously, the rewards are a lot greater. I mean, I know Pacquiao doesn't have a belt, but he's much more of a name, and you know, it'll be a great notch on Terence Crawford's record. I mean, Pacquiao is an opponent that he's been trying to fight for a long time as well, but it's just not happened. You know what I mean? It just hasn't gone to fruition. So whether the Pacquiao fight happens next or the Shawn Porter one does happen, it's not going to be Errol Spence. You know, Errol Spence is probably going to fight Ugas next. You know, Ugas is now the WBA super champion after Pacquiao was made champion in recess. So, you know, I could see Errol Spence and Ugas fighting, you know, for 3 out of the 4 belts. You know, I could definitely see it. And it will put Errol Spence in an even better position, because, you know, he'll have 3 of the 4 belts and he'll feel that he's more of a name. He demands more of the pie against Terence Crawford, and that's pretty much where the sticking point is. So listen, I hate to talk about the negotiations too much, because at the end of the day, I'm not getting any of the money. So I don't really understand when people get so invested into what a fighter should get, because you ain't getting any of the money. Do you know what I mean? Let's just see the fight happen. But whether or not you think about who deserves what between those two, it's not going to happen for now. So let's just plan ahead for their next fights, man. Hopefully Crawford does get Pacquiao or Shawn Porter, he fights one of them, and hopefully we do get to see Errol Spence against Ugas, and then maybe after that we could then talk about the fight that will probably not happen, but we can talk about it anyway. But let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below, guys. What would you like to see for Terence Crawford next? What's realistic for him? And what would you like to see next for Errol Spence as well? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.